What is up, everybody? It is this week's best MMA bets. Happy to be bringing it back. We got some cross plays we're going to be talking about. It's Bellator and UFC, so we're going to go deep with it. If you guys follow the channel already, you know I did go deep with that UFC best bets video, but I really felt like I have to do a combination video for UFC and Bellator. We'll first talk about the Bellator locks of the night, dogs of the night, and some potential value bets. We'll get into some props as well. And then we will talk about some cross parlays to play for UFC and Bellator. I honestly cannot wait for it. Hope you guys enjoy this series. Make sure to smash that like button. I need at least 100 likes on this week's best MMA bets. New to the channel, make sure you subscribe too. Appreciate everybody watching live or on replay. Love all you guys that support the channel. And I want to get into some potential plays here. Shout out to UFC gambling addicts in the live chat, my brother. Good to see you here, man. I appreciate you tuning in. So let's check out Bellator first, because Bellator is what we haven't done any best bets video for just yet. So we're going to go deep with it. I want to talk about some of the plays on the card. Now, I will warn you guys, some of these locks, odds-wise, extremely wide. So you will find best value in some props. So we'll talk about them in just a moment. Appreciate you guys being here, and let's get into it. The first of our locks of the night, it is Usman Nurmagomedov. Kind of self-explanatory. He should destroy Manny Muro. Stylistically, there's a level difference in the dynamic striking styles. I feel as Usman Nurmagomedov can mix it up better everywhere than Muro. Muro's a tough guy, and he's a fun guy to watch, but this matchup is all Usman. I don't see it being all that competitive. Now, the betting odds are all the way up, minus 1,400, minus 1,000. You're not going to make money straight betting Usman Nurmagomedov. It's just not going to happen unless you got big money to throw down. Maybe you throw 10K at him, you'll make yourself a little bit of something back, but it's not going to be all that substantial. What I feel the money to be made here, over and under. Look at this, over 1.5 rounds, minus 155. I think this fight goes over 1.5 rounds. I have a feeling that this fight goes the distance as well, but I like the over 1.5 probably the most here. It's around minus 155 at worst, minus 125 though at best value. That would be a solid play. Nurmagomedov to win by a decision is at plus 205. Manny Muro's a durable guy. That's the second prop I'm going to lead you towards, and that one is a more specified prop. Nurmagomedov decision at plus 205 I think is a decent bet. I don't know if he gets the finish over Manny Muro. I think he dominates him, but I don't think he gets him out of there. I think we're looking at 3 rounds of quality action. But the over 1.5, I would say, is my personal favorite of the props. Second to that, though, we have to do Nurmagomedov wins by a decision at that plus 200 money. So that you see there's value to be made on Usman Nurmagomedov, but you got to play him more so for the the props, parlays obviously as well, which we'll talk about at the very end. Now, the next of our locks of the night, another betting odds wise, extremely widespread. It's going to be Gadzi Rabananov versus Daniel Carey. It's a stylistic mismatch. It's a hot prospect who's working towards contendership against, a durable, solid journeyman. Daniel Carey, recent loss, that was against Aaron Pico. Now, the odds are sitting around minus 600 to plus 375. At best value, you can even find Daniel Carey at a plus 500 dog. Don't think there's a ton of likelihood on him winning this fight here. I do think that Radnabov inside of the distance is highly possible. That's sitting at some decent plus money. That is plus 175. I don't hate that play. I won't say that it's my absolute favorite, but I do think there is a possibility that he can get Daniel Carey out of there. Now, Radabov to win by a decision is minus 115. That's more so expected. The prediction is a win by decision for Radnabov here. Over 1.5 is minus 180. That's not terrible value. Or excuse me, that's over 2.5, minus 180. Not terrible value. An inside the distance play value-wise would give you something back. not amazing. Ranabov by a decision, minus 115. I'm going to lean you towards a play more so on that inside the distance play because you're actually looking to make some money back. The minus 115 is okay if you want to play it. But I do think Ranabov could potentially get the finish, though the prediction is him by a decision. Be cautious on these plays, especially because they're not super specified, not a ton of props available, just several that we have on screen here. But I do like Ranabov, and he's definitely one of our locks of the night. Now, we do have a final lock of the night. This one, it's going to be female MMA, which inherently higher risk than the rest. It's Vanessa Porto, minus 275 to plus 215. Best value, you can find her at minus 269 to plus 241. So Porto probably goes the distance here. I see her winning a decision. Minus 115, Porto wins by a decision. I think that's the best prop bet you can make on that fight. And I do also think that the straight bet on Porto, minus 274, the value is not really all that worth it. Potential parlay, but it's women's MMA, and women's MMA, I mean, it gets us nervous, but I have to still say it is a lock of the night lock. Let's put the quotes around it. If you guys follow the channel, you know, I do realize that there's no such thing as a lock in MMA, but it's as close of a lock as I can see possible here, and I like Porto to win by a decision at minus 115. Now, the next segment gets me excited. It's our dogs of the night. Who are some of these underdogs that I think are really going to come through nicely for us, potentially cash us some big dinero? So let's get into some of these dogs of the night. It is the first dog of the night that we have here. It is between Johnny Cisneros and Joshua Jones. I think that Cisneros wins this fight by a KO. He's the naturally bigger guy. He's taller. He fights up a weight class normally. Joshua Jones doesn't look in incredible shape at 160, and he's at a catchweight 180 here. The simple size differential alone and the durability of Johnny Cisneros is why I like him here to win by a KO TKO. He's sitting all the way up at a plus 170 money at best value. That's over at FanDuel, and he's at plus 150 to plus 155 ranging elsewhere. For him to win by a KO TKO, it's not available, but they have a Cisneros inside the distance plus 250. I do see him getting the knockout win. I would potentially play that at plus 250, but to save you, right, maybe you just play straight all the way up at that plus 170 tag if you're over at FanDuel on Johnny Cisneros. So that is the dog of the night, the first of them. And if I had to throw a prop at you, it is Cisneros wins inside the distance at that plus 250 money. Now, the next of our dogs of the night, be cautious with this dog. I would truly say it's all the way down. It's Daniel Compton over Justin Berry. Berry making his pro debut. Compton, a few fights into his professional career. I guess multiple fights into his professional career. Now, decent wrestling skill set, solid kickboxer. Not a fight that I'm actually going to be throwing any money down. I will tell you guys that straight up. But if you are looking to, I like the underdog Daniel Compton here. I think he should control the fight on the ground potentially, but not enough so that I feel the confidence to bet. But I still have to give you guys the valid information here. All right, so Compton to win by a decision. That's what I do believe could be possible. Plus 415. The value is very good. Compton to win inside the distance. Plus 240. Kind of feeling like if I was to play Compton, not saying I am, I would lean towards that inside the distance play. But I think Berry also has a shot of knocking him out. Berry is plus 150 for an inside the distance play. Personal fight that I would maybe stay out of unless you're just playing with small bills. Not too much cash at it. I don't have the utmost, high level of confidence on either guy in that matchup. Now, there is, I guess we could call this a dog depending on what lines you are playing on, Emmanuel Sanchez, but it's realistically even money fight. I have him beating Mads Burnell. I like betting Emmanuel Sanchez straight here more than anything. There are parts in the house. All right, we're good. I do think potentially with Emmanuel Sanchez, I feel like decision is probably how he would take out a very skilled guy in Mads Burnell, who's a grappling savage. But I think Sanchez finds his way back up to the feet. He does offer resistance on the ground, most definitely. Not an easy fight by any means, though, and it is high-level MMA in this, men's featherweight division. I like Sanchez decision here as the prop. If you had to play a prop, it's plus 180. Sanchez straight is the bet I would go for. I wouldn't take a risk on prop betting on that one. But that is the final of our dogs of the night. Now let's just quickly talk some potential value bets. Odds-wise, Patricio Pitbull, if you wanted to play him, but I totally understand the argument on the side of AJ McKee. There's some odds there, the inside the distance on Patricio Pitbull to win, plus 150. I think he'd get a KO. Let me actually check best fight odds, because I think they might have some more of the props. Yeah, they do. Patricio Pitbull by a KO, you can actually find it up at plus 225. That over at Ref. Potential play for sure is a Pitbull KO. Also could see him getting that sub, but more so feeling the knockout. Another value bet, Goiti Yamamuchi. He's not a massive favorite, around minus 157. He's in a difficult fight against Chris Gonzalez here, but I do think potentially he could find a win by submission. But all I'm seeing available right now is that inside the distance play. Let me check best fight odds. They have best fight odds coming through with some more props available at the moment. Let me see. Wrong fight here. Let's find Yamuchi versus Gonzalez. Yamuchi to win by a submission, plus 135. That's not terrible, but it's not great either. I do think he wins by a submission. Potential parlay addition, but he's in a tricky fight against Chris Gonzalez. Georgi Karakanyan, I do think, could get a finish over Kiefer Crosby, but minus 245. More of a parlay addition. The straight bet isn't fantastic. I do think he'll win the fight, though, for Karakanyan inside the distance, plus 170. If there is a knockout prop bet available. Now, there's no knockout prop bet available just yet. Might not be at all, because sometimes these Bellator prelim fights actually don't get the full prop treatment. But those are some potential value bets. There's definitely some on the card. Islam Mamedov versus Brett Primus. People like the dog, the former champion Primus. Me personally, though, I am on Mamedov. I think stylistically it's a hard matchup for Brent. But he's still, but he's still a very capable mixed martial artist. But we'll still be riding Mamedov. Potential play there. But I do want to talk the parlays, because the parlays are something that get me pretty pumped, and I do think we're going to have some potential solid plays to get into on this one. So let's check them out. Some cross plays, some money to be made. It's this week's best MMA bets, and it wouldn't be this week's best MMA bets without a cross parlay. We're going to call this the $1,000 cross parlay. If you had to give me $1,000 to play across the organizations, what would be my picks? I'm going to go Radnabov and Nurmagomedov. They're going to be locks for me. I think they're extremely high likelihood of success. Now, if I had to add somebody else in to the lineup, who am I feeling from the UFC? The UFC bets, they're going to be potentially danger zone, because there's some seriously competitive matchups here on the UFC card. But I think Rafa Garcia is a pretty quality lock. This is a 3-fighter parlay. Gatsi Radbanov, Usman Nurmagomedov, and Rafa Garcia brings you to minus 144. I'm not saying that it's stealing money, but I would say that's pretty close to a lock. If you put Ghassan Magomed Sharipov, it's minus 115. Strong favorite parlay here, but these are fighters that I would say are staples and truly expected to be victorious this weekend. Like, there's little doubt in these fighters. Now, we can build upon some crazy-ass parlays from here, but if I had to play with $1,000 cross-playing, this is the one that I like the most. Now, if I was to add some fighters from the UFC, as crazy as it may seem, I'm just feeling like, even though it's women's MMA, Nico Montano brings me to plus 168 value. I think she should beat Yanan Wu. That's not a bad play. It's Gadzi Radbanov, Usman Nurmagomedov, Rafa Garcia, Ghassan Magomed Sharipov, and Nico Montano. Obviously, I understand hesitation towards playing that, but if you are a wild man and you want to throw down, let's say you want to take her out, though, and you want to add a dog, I like Hani Yaya. That brings you to plus 304 value. There's definitely some money to be made cross-playing these cards here, but at the end of the day, not easy, right? There's always going to be a solid amount of risk. I want to bring some more, though, fighters over from Bellator on the lines. I think Karakanyan should win. So let me take Yaya out for now. Let's see, Karakanyan to win too is plus 163. I think The safety of this is fairly strong, fairly, I would say. If I did have to add in a dog, though, I definitely put Ronnie Yaya. I just like the matchup stylistically against Ho Kang there. Jared Gordon, Nicholas Stolze. Now Stolze is a favorite, man. He was our dog of the week. That was so disappointing losing that fight. If you are looking to be an absolute animal, do you potentially add in Ronnie Lawrence? Like these are crazy plays. The bigger we get with these parlays, it's just insanity. It's extremely high risk, and we're pretty much playing lottery tickets. But I'm very confident in my picks this week. Do I want to play this with a substantial amount of cash? No, but if you threw $10 at it and you cashed 200, that wouldn't be bad, right? Radzmanov, Nurmagomedov, Rafa Garcia, Kasan, Magomed Sharipov, Georgi Karakanyan, Haniyaya, Ronnie Lawrence, and Gloria Di Paula. I think that could bring you some revenue as far as the lottery ticket play, as I would like to call it. It's not, hey, go bet $1,000 on it. But if you threw, a small amount down, even if you want to throw 50, if you have the money to play it, I think it could definitely deliver for you. Let me check out some of this live chat to see what the crew is talking about in here. Yeah, definitely some widespread odds this card. All right. What do I think about Frey? You think she's a lock? I think she's in a hard fight against Ashley Yoder. I'm on the other side on the Yoder pick, man. But Frey is very good in the clinch, and Yoder sometimes can be controlled there. So I totally understand the Frey play. Kanyaya, Komain. I know. It is interesting. This card is a weak-ass card, and it's disappointing that the UFC is letting us down this weekend. But thankfully, we got a fire Bellator card that we're going to be watching, so I'm really not all that upset seeing Bellator come through with absolute fuego matchups. Is it the worst co-main of the year? I would say so. Macy Barber, Alessa Grasso was bad as well, and that was on the Usman pay-per-view. At the end of the day, I still feel like the name value was higher. I'm hoping that we get a lot of finishes. Yeah, I do think we will. Is there anything else that I feel like could potentially be added in? Like, what am I feeling like a true wild man? I'm not putting on Kamaka. Meltzik Begzadian. Okay, guys. So, as far as the lottery ticket play, Meltzik Begzadian, Gloria Di Paula, Ronnie Lawrence, Hani Yaya, Georgi Karakanyan, Hassan Magomed Sharipov, Rafa Garcia, Usman Nurmagomedov, and Gadzi Rabanov. I think that's the lottery ticket play. If I was to just do a two-fighter parlay from both organizations, I would lean towards maybe, like, if you want to keep, obviously the value there, Karakanyan and Rafa Garcia, I would say, would probably be it as far as, like, not betting the crazy favorites. But I would be too tempted to not add in these strong favorites because matchup-wise, they're extremely superior to their opponents. And they're damn good Russians, man. And Russian fighters tend to deliver, especially in these lower-level matchups. They're on the rise, all of them. All the guys named and listed here are on the rise, and I do see paths to victory for every one of them. Crazy-ass parlay with some dogs here, but imagine it came through for plus 3,695. That would be some sweet money back at you. But likelihood of that, I have to be 100% honest, is probably not all that high. This is mixed martial arts, and anything happens when that cage door closes, man. Pre-Kobe fight, Usman. The Kobe-Usman fight is going to be pretty exciting, man. I'm pumped for it. I'm liking Usman stylistically, man. He's fun to watch for sure. Him and Covington are going to definitely throw down. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's best MMA bets. I really think there are some potential cross plays to be made. If you want the deep dive of the UFC betting breakdown, we got the UFC best bets. Unfortunately, we did lose our dog of the week in Nicholas Stolze. That was against Munir Lazez. Now he fights against Jared Gooden. I'm still on Nicholas Stolze, I believe, to win that fight, but Gooden is a powerhouse betting-wise. Knockout prop bet for Gooden. Is that available? Not yet, but an inside the distance Gooden plus 435. Could he touch the chin of Stolze? Possibly, but I don't see him beating him. I think that Stolze will probably find a way to win, similar to, I believe, when Jared Gooden fought Alan Jouban. Stolze plus 250 to win inside the distance. I think that fight might be going to decision here, to be honest, guys. Stoltze decision plus 115. Fortunately, lost that juicy dog, but we still have some entertaining fights on the card. Patricky Pitbull, I don't know why it says Patricky Fieri, Patricio Pitbull Fieri versus AJ McKee. That's a little typo there by Best Fight Odds. But I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I had a great time chatting it up with you guys and throwing some of the best bets at you. Got tons of content coming out this week. Working on a fun little video that I will be dropping tomorrow. And then I also have, the weigh-in recaps coming out, which is going to be just a stacked day. I'm doing an appearance over at Pub Sports Radio to help them break down the Bellator card. So lots of content coming for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash that like button. We need at least 100 likes. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new here, you guys are awesome. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in to this week's best MMA bets. See you guys in the next one.